Hey guys, how you doing? Just a little bit after 6 here, and we are live here on Free Speech Radio. It's about 100 degrees here in Apple Valley. Hello, High Desert, and thank you all for listening. This is Chris J. Martinez, and today's inspirational story of the week is Carlos Cruz talks Stonebreed.
All you people, how you doing here tonight? We came here to party, make a start a whiskey fight. Like a ball, your dollars better go and hide the wife. Like a dog in heat, you know we're running wild tonight. Pull into your town, you know we're looking for some fun. Wild and whiskey women always keep us on the run. We don't care about the law, sheriff's in this town. It's in the morning before they know what hit them, I'll be gone. Tonight, love me while you can. Let me be your man. In the morning, honey, you just got to understand. I'm a rebel man. Love me when I can. Playing in this long-haired rock and roll band. When you wake up in the morning, I'll be miles away. You'll have something more than just a standing on my name. Staring at my picture you have hanging on your wall. Now you know my dirty, dirty secrets after a while. Tonight, love me while you can. Let me be your man. In the morning, honey, you just got to understand. I'm a rebel man. Love it when I can. Playing in this long-haired rock and roll band. When you wake up in the morning, honey, I'll be gone. You'll have something more than just my name to sing my song. Staring at my picture you have hanging on your wall. Now you know my dirty, dirty secrets after a while. Tonight, love me while you can. Let me be your man. In the morning, honey, you just got to understand. I'm a rebel man. Love me when I can. Playing in this long-haired rock and roll band. Let me be your man. Love me when I can. In the morning, honey, you just got to understand. I'm a rebel man. Love me when I can. Playing in this long-haired rock and roll band.
Alright guys, that was Stonebreed with Tonight. Guys, today's inspirational story of the week, we have Carlos Cruz talk Stonebreed. Carlos, it's good to have you here on Free Speech Radio. Can you tell us a little bit more about the band? Who's Stonebreed?
Hey, well, first of all, thanks for having me. My buddy Chris here. Thanks a lot. Stonebreed is a hard rock band from the Los Angeles area. And, we do a whole bunch of original songs that we wrote and recorded. And we've got one album out. That's a debut album that's available out all over the world in iTunes and all that kind of stuff, and Amazon and anywhere on the net, all digitally. And then that song that you just heard is a single that we got coming out because we're getting ready to record our second album. And we got all the songs. We're in pre-production right now. We're getting ready to do our second album. But we're just a hard rock band from Los Angeles, California that, just started out doing the small little clubs and little joints in the neighborhoods. And now we're on, nationwide playing big shows with big national bands all over the United States. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. That's who we are.
And, I could say that's just, it's really inspiring, because there's a lot of people who, want to get together, they want to get in a band, and, they really never really go anywhere because, they kind of just either lack the effort or they just don't really know where to go. But what are your guys' next shows? When are you guys playing again?
Oh, man, we got so much stuff coming up. We're actually going to do a Texas tour. It's called the Stonebreed Execution Tour 2016. Coming up July. We started in El Paso on July 14th, then the 15th we're in Dallas, Texas, and on the 16th we're in Austin, Texas, and on the 17th we're in Houston, Texas. And then we come home and start recording the record. And then in August we have a big festival that we're doing out in the Midwest in Taylorville, Illinois. It's called the Twisted Sisters Rock Festival, and it's got like the band Hell Yeah and Hailstorm and like the Bullet Boys and a whole bunch of cool bands, and it's a big 3-day festival, and we're doing that show. And then we come back here to do a show here down in Santa Ana. There's this really great theater down there called the Yost Theater, and it's in Santa Ana. It's a historic building and stuff. It's like an old movie theater, and they have rock shows there. We're playing with a couple of really famous bands from the 80s, Great White, you might remember them, or LA Guns, and then there's going to be 5 other bands playing with us, opening for us. So it's an 8-band bill on August 27th at the Yost Theater. And then after that, we've got a couple shows up in Idaho. We're doing Boise, Idaho, September 23rd at the Eclipse Bar, and then September 24th we bump over to Burley. We're playing the Snake River Rock Fest, and that's with Puddle of Mud and a couple other big headliner bands. And then on the way back, we stop through Salt Lake City, probably at Leatherheads. I think that's where the venue is, in Salt Lake City. And that's September, and then we come home and do some more recording. So we do these little, jaunts out. And then October, we're doing this huge festival. It's called the Farm Rock Festival. And this guy, Freddie Stalmer with Frederick Entertainment, he puts these festivals on all across the United States. He does them in like Tucson and Chicago and Nashville and Atlanta, and he's doing one in Des Moines on October 22nd. So what we're doing is we're doing an Illinois-Iowa tour to lead up to it. We're calling it the Road to Farm Rock, because at Farm Rock it's a big 2-day festival with a whole bunch of 80s bands like Vince Neil, Tom Kiefer, Cinderella, Great White, Tesla, bands like that. And so we're going to do a whole bunch of smaller shows leading up to that show. So we're going to go out for 2 weeks in the Midwest. We're going to start in go and we're going to do like Moline, Illinois at Rascals. We're going to dip down into Taylorville, Illinois, and do a show at Middies. And then we're going to jump down into Missouri, St. Louis, and then we jump up into Iowa. We're doing like Dubuque, Burlington, Waterloo, and then we hit the big Farm Rock show. So we'll spend about 2 weeks out on the road in the Midwest.
So you guys are
out spreading the word of Stonebreed.
You guys are everywhere.
Yeah, we just got done doing a bunch of stuff. We just got done going up to Utah and Idaho again, and we just, like I said, we're getting ready to do a whole bunch of more stuff. And then that's just the stuff that's announced. That's confirmed. We've got probably 20 more dates that are, we got offers out, we got contracts not signed yet, but we got, penciled in dates. But, until the contracts are signed, we don't really announce them. That's just what we've got announced so far. So.
Well, it's and everybody can find this on your guys' website, right? For the most part, the schedules as far as your guys'.
We're all over the internet. The main place to find us, of course, would be our main website for our band homepage. Of course, is www.stonebreed.com. And then, we're on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Snapchat, we're on YouTube, all that stuff. So you just, you basically, you just Google Stonebreed, you'll find us basically.
One of the things that comes to mind is that as you being the lead singer and songwriter, I imagine that you pretty much put the band together. And how did it all pretty much start? How did Stonebreed come to be?
Well, it's funny. I've always been in bands and wrote songs and stuff, and I had a handful of songs that I liked and believed in and wanted to when I first got to California. I came out here from Texas, and I was like, man, I really want to find some guys out here and do these songs and get in the studio and record them and see what happens, play some shows. So, all right, I got to find a band. So I started, I put ad in Craigslist, matter of fact, and I think it was like hard rock singer from Texas looking, for guys that like hard rock with a southern flavor. And I kind of listened to some bands like Aerosmith, Van Halen meets, Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet or something. And then, I had a couple of guys answer, and I found a guitar player, and, we were kind of the same age and grew up on the same stuff and liked all the same bands. And, we're talking about, well, besides the original songs that he liked of mine, we need to play some cover songs. So we, kind of, I like that one too. Oh yeah, what about this one? Oh yeah, I like that. So we had similar taste in music. We kind of wanted to play the same kind of stuff. So then me and him were like, okay, yeah, me and you click. So now let's find a drummer and a bass player. And then it kind of went from there. We put another ad on Craigslist, singer, guitar player, in southern rock, hard rock vein, looking for a drummer, bass player. And then we found a bass player, and then we went through a few drummers, and when we found a drummer, then we started, rehearsing as a four-piece, and I've always kind of liked the five-piece band growing up, and kind of always been in a band with two guitar players. So that's kind of what we leaned towards. So then we ended up finding another guitar player, and boom, then we were a five-piece band. We started doing shows and stuff. Now, over the couple of years that went through, I've actually evolved with different band members. Matter of fact, we even had Chris Holmes, that he was a big famous rock star in the 80s. He was in a band called Wasp. They were, real big band in the 80s. He played in this band Stonebreed for about a year before he moved to Europe and did a bunch of shows with us and stuff like that. But the guys that have been in this band now, the band's been out for about 5 years, but the four guys that are in the band now, we dropped down to four of us again. Have been together for about 2 years now, so even though we went through a few members, the core of the band now with the the new album and the new writing and all that, and this band's been together about 2 years with this, and that's how we formed the band and got to this point where we're at, basically.
And did you guys started in 2009? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's been about.
I think it was like 2010, actually.
About 2010.
When we first started playing. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, as part of the inspirational story of the week, I mean, what do you think? A band, anybody out there who wants to be in a band or who is in a band, what do you think they have to do if they really think they want to take it serious, if they really want to pursue that route?
Well, honestly, I think the number one thing is if you believe in yourself and you think you can, you will. I mean, there's a saying that I've always heard: if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. So, if you believe in yourself and you have a good, positive mental attitude, and you just, is this what you want to do? Because everybody that achieves greatness in life or does something that fulfills them, whether it be a great painter or a athlete runner or a football player that wins the Super Bowl, every one of them, it wasn't just handed to them. They worked for it, and they believed in themselves, and they worked hard for it, and they didn't let nothing stop them. Nothing got in their way of their goal, of their dream. They never let nobody tell them you can't do this. They never let themselves tell them and feel defeated. You can't do this. Like me as a band, I mean, we feel like, oh man, 5 years ago we should have been signed to a big label and, running around in jet planes and limousines, and it doesn't work that way. This ain't the 80s anymore, and there's not big record companies shelling out $100,000 advance royalties on $500,000 contracts no more. It's just, if you listen to our music, I don't know, I've asked people, what does it sound like? Who does it sound like? And a lot of people don't really go, oh, that sounds like Ted Nugent, or that sounds like Boston, that sounds like whatever. So, I think we do come off as a little bit original, unique, different, even though we're kind of an 80s vibe, hard rock, southern, feel. That's kind of what people say it sounds like. I don't know. I never really set out to go, oh, I want to sound just like Aerosmith, or I want to sound just like this band. But me growing up, Aerosmith is one of my favorite bands. So is Leonard Skinner and Molly Hatchet. Like I said, hard rock bands and southern rock bands and stuff. David Lee Roth was one of my main influences as a front man, the way he, talked to the crowd and swaggered on stage and, stuff like that. So growing up with all that stuff and soaking it all in, as a performer, when you write and perform, that's going to come out of you. Your influences are going to come out of you. So, I don't know. It's not like if I come off and someone goes, oh, man, that dude's copying Ronnie Van Zant or something, I figured, I kind of look at that as a compliment, because I'm not, specifically trying to, but if I portray something that appears that way, then, hey, that's kind of cool to me, even though he might think it's jerky, like I'm trying to do it on purpose. But I think that, your roots kind of come out no matter what you try to do and try to be like. So
what?
I don't really set out to sound like any certain person. I just write songs and play it and hope people like it, man.
So what have been some of the best times that you've had, and maybe some of the lowest times that you've had?
Well, I can tell you the lowest time we just recently had. we book a show. We're supposed to go over to fly to Boston. This is just like last weekend. And then we're supposed to get a shuttle from Boston to Laconia for this big Pipe Fest. We're going to play with Ted Nugent on Friday night, and then we're going to come back on Sunday, and we're going to play co-headline the ending of the festival. And it turned into a chaos where it was like 2 days before the show. This was like a 9-day-long festival, too. Like Steven Tyler played on Wednesday night, and Lita Ford and War, and these other rock bands played on this night and that night. And
man,
by the time it was toward the end, we were supposed to play on Friday and Sunday. They were the promoter, I guess they were having problems. They were having money problems. The promoter ran off with the money. Bands weren't getting paid. They canceled Saturday and Sunday, so we decided to not get on the airplane and to go out there, because we'd have been stuck with them closing everything down, the band's not getting paid and not reimbursed for airline tickets and all that stuff like they said they were going to do. So we as performers, I mean, that's a whole weekend loss of income for us. That's what we do. We try to book ourselves every weekend somewhere. We're out performing, and we're pulling in income. We're making money from the show. We're selling merchandise, CDs, T-shirts, what have you. So it's too late 2 days before the show to go play anywhere. Of course, it was Father's Day, and that was kind of a good thing, because my family didn't want me on the East Coast at some biker rally. They didn't want to be home on Father's Day. But it was just a big hassle, man. We had a lot of friends that were coming to the show. They got tickets. It was a big mess. I mean, it's just too much to go into. That was a low point, but I think really just the high point is that just the more that we work at it, the more that we see more success. I mean, like I said, we started out just playing at your local bars here in the Valley. If anybody's listening is familiar with the Valley, you get like Paladinos, and we've played like small places like Petey's, and we've played places you wouldn't even imagine, strip joints. We've played bowling alleys. We've played we even played at a biker bar in Ukaipa, and one of the opening bands was like a motorcycle gang band, and their singer was all drunk after their set. He wanted to keep coming up and singing with us, and I let him for 3 songs, but about the 5th or 6th song, he wouldn't sit down. He was drunk, belligerent. Finally had to, kind of push him off the stage, tell him to go sit down, and that's when his whole gang jumped up and basically attacked the whole Stonebreed band. We were back against the wall, dragging all of our equipment out. Luckily, there was a rival motorcycle gang there who kind of like blocked them from whooping us up, and kind of like, hey, grab your stuff, get out of here. All right, we'll hold the line here. It was kind of weird. We had to get all of our stuff backed up and get out of there, put it all on our truck, and sneak out the back door and hightail it out of there. These guys were all mad. So that's, some of the stuff that we've dealt with, playing these kind of places. But then as we work harder and play more, and people get to know us, and more people come to see us, more people get turned on, they know what's going on, more people start to come, and we start playing bigger and bigger shows. Then all of a sudden we're opening for big bands, we're playing these big festivals, we're doing these tours, we're going out nationwide, and like I said, we just signed with Rock Avenue Records USA, a label who's putting us in the studio and doing our next record, and they're helping us with tour support, and we got a new management company and all that, and like I said, it's just almost like every month we're taking that next step, that next step up the ladder. Every 2 months we're getting a little farther up. So we keep looking back, going, oh man, 6 months ago we weren't doing this, and now we're doing that. It's cool to just track and watch your progress as you work and work hard at what you're doing, and put a lot of time and effort in it, and you see the rewards pay off. And we're at a mid-level now where we're ready to go further. So people are like, oh, you guys got signed to a label, man, you got it made now, and it's quite the contrary. It's like, we don't have it made now. It's like, now is when the real work begins. I mean, now we have a label to back us, and we have a chance to get out not only nationwide but worldwide. Now is when we really got to get to work, put a really good record out, put a really good video out, and really get out and go to Europe and play, in these festivals in Germany and Italy and France, and that's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun too. I mean, being a musician, you love what you do. So if you love the work that you do and you get paid for it, you're happy in life. You're like an old Chinese guy that's just happy.
An old Chinese guy.
You're happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, everything you just mentioned right now pretty much highlights the entire, message of this entire podcast in general, is how you pretty much mentioned you started from somewhere, and even at that point right there, that would have kept a lot of people from even progressing, because they would either thought, oh, I don't want to start here, that everybody wants to start at the top, but nobody wants to work their way up. And, and also going forward and always wanting the progression, seeking that progression, and just having that, that perseverance to just continue doing what you already know can happen. And it's just truly inspiring to me to, because I mean, I don't really consider myself a musician as much as I would when I was younger, but I still play guitar, and I still play, bass and piano, but it's more of a hobby now, not something that I would generally pursue. But it's really inspiring to see somebody really go with their dream and just make it happen,
I'm a Mexican. I'm not a Mexicant. You gotta believe in yourself, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can say you're a real positive person, man, and it's really good to just and that's another thing. It's important to surround yourself around people that bring good vibes and have that positive attitude, because it kind of spreads over to you.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to, man. I mean, I see people around me, they're miserable, they're mad, they're upset all the time or whatever, they got problems. I mean, we all got problems, man, but you just got to deal with it, dude. I mean, I look at myself, and anytime I feel sorry for myself and go, oh, fuck, excuse my language, oh, man, I ain't got this or I ain't got that. I think, man, what am I complaining about, man? I got a roof over my head. I got food. I got a truck to drive. I mean, there's people that ain't got no shoes around, in the same neighborhood I live in,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm thankful, for everything that I have, and, I'm a true believer, and if you believe in yourself and, thank who you thank up above, then that's all that matters, man.
Well, Carlos, it was good to have you, Carlos. It was really a pleasure to hear, some of the stuff about Stonebreed.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you thought of me on your success storylines here. I feel very honored to be on your show, my brother.
Well, thanks, and I'll just go ahead and let everybody hear another good song. I picked out Whiskey Well. What do you think about that one, Carlos?
I like that song. We like playing that song every time we play at the Whiskey in Hollywood.
Is there any story behind it or anything you'd like to tell? I mean, actually, I think I remember one time I was I got to see you guys live, and I think you actually had a glass with you, and you kind of slammed it on the stage, and I think you kind of got in a little bit of trouble for that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I did. I think that was at the Canyon Club. Because the song's about obviously drinking whiskey, and during the song, what we do is I like to get 5 shots of whiskey. I used to get 5 shots because there was 5 members of the band, but then I would fool everybody and make them think I was getting it for the band. But then I would call people up in the audience and go, "Oh, I'm going to give it to the audience instead." And during the song, I would have people do a shot of whiskey with me, and the heat of the moment got carried away, and I sometimes I kind of throw the glass in the air and then I kind of kick it behind with my foot to try to look cool a little bit, and I think what it did was it looked like I slammed it down and it broke on the stage, and the guys got a little bit mad. I had to pay for the shot glass. Hey, it's all fun and rock and roll, man.
Hey, that's what it is. It's just about having fun, loving what you do.
That's right, having fun, loving what you do, man. Just staying positive and focused, man, and just following your dreams.
Well, thank you guys for listening. This is Seed of Success with Chris J. Martinez on Free Speech Radio, and here's Whiskey Well by Stonebreed.